It's about 5 below zero. We've had some pretty cold weather lately. I'm heading up to the barn to get some feed to start feeding the cows for the morning. Wow, this is interesting. These cows are sitting out here. It's 5 below zero. It's probably 10 below zero last night. They're all frost covered. This is rough weather for them. These are some cold cows. 3 of these are Highland. One's a red Angus. She looks pretty cold. She's got some Hereford in her. She's got a little bit of shaggy fur. The 2 black Angus are in the barn. These guys could have went in the barn, but they decided to stay out. It's just a weird kind of cold this morning. Hopefully they're all okay, but I think they will be. But boy, is it cold. You can hear, I just can hear stuff like cracking out in the woods. Alright, I'm going to get their feed. That's 5 below Fahrenheit. It's probably about 10 below Fahrenheit last night. This is their morning feed. There's 2 scoops of what we call all grain feed. It's from the mill down the road from us called McNaughton Milling. They've been in business for a long time. It's a mixture of oats, corn, soy, molasses, and vitamins and minerals. They really need this in the wintertime. Giving them a little extra today because it's so cold. Usually I put this on the sled, but the bottoms of their bowls are kind of caked up with snow, so I'm going to try to take it out on this little flatbed wagon that my daughter and I pieced together several years ago. Alright, I'm going to stop here for a second and go down and feed them. Well, they've all got their feed. This frozen bunch of cows. The Highlands are actually better off with all their insulation. I gotta run over and grab another bowl for this silly Angus here. I always put an extra bowl out because they kind of play a game here. I'm going to walk over here to the bowl. Hi, good boy. I'm going to push his bowl a little bit so it's not up against the water. Boy, they are cold. This is about the coldest it's been up here this year. Monty looks pretty frozen, but he's probably in good shape. He's a big fat baby. He's about a little bit over a year old. And he's just been having milk up to real recently. This is Annabelle. They're all appreciating their feed this morning. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop this for a second and get their hay ready on the sled. This is the sled that I use to pull the hay out to them. You can fit 2 bales on it, but I just like to do it one at a time. I don't have to take it that far. I cut them open in the barn and bring them out here. My son likes to put 3 on here, but then he ends up tipping it over sometimes. I've already taken 1 bale out to them. These sleds are pretty useful out here in the snow. I'm going to toss it out to them. Some of them are finishing up the bowls. I give them an extra bowl when I feed them, so that way when they play musical bowls, switching all around, nobody gets left out for the most part. Two of the Highlands are down there eating the hay already. They like the hay better than the feed. The feed has some minerals in it, and whenever you give them that feed with the molasses in, you can pretty much get them to go wherever you want if you offer them a bowl of feed or call them. So the cows are fed for the morning. I've given them their grain and their hay. Gave them 3 bales of hay. 3 square bales is what we call them, even though they're rectangles. They'll eat as much of that as they want, then they'll bed down on it, provide some insulation between the ground and the snow for them. Like I said before, it's really cold out here. I don't know exactly what it is, -5 to somewhere around -10 degrees Fahrenheit. They're all right though, thankfully. I was going to show you the water trough here. It's not that spectacular. It's kind of primitive the way we water them in the winter time, but we don't have to worry about lines breaking or anything. We just take 4 5-gallon buckets of hot water out here and pour it on a little bit at a time and melt the ice and break it out. And then we use a pool skimmer to skim off the pieces of ice. And we do this about 3 times a day. It's an old cast iron bathtub that we plugged up with some PVC and some silicone. And it works nicely. The Highlands with their horns, the bulls, will break the Rubbermaid tubs. We've been down that road. And this has just lasted a long time. And we don't have to worry about water lines freezing out here in this bitter cold. And so they'll come down and drink it. They'll drink it down pretty good, and then we'll wait a little bit later and give them some new hot water in it, melt the ice, and then bust out what's left and skim it out with the pool skimmer. Well, it's a frosty morning on the farm, boy, is it cold. I'm going to go ahead and sign out now. Talk to you later.